The Great White Brotherhood. Seeds of Infinity. I am what I am. Give peace a chance. I am what I am. Characterization of divinity, which is beyond all attribute. God is, and He is all great being, existence. This initiatory expression appears in the biblical text in the symbolic occasion in which the advent of monotheism of the Hebrew people was prepared, which would be the future cradle of the Messiah. Moses, in the top of Mount Horeb, heard the divine voice from the burning bush commanding him to take the Hebrew people out of Egypt. Then Moses said to God, "Look, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers sent me to you,' and they said to me, 'What is your name?' what will I tell them?" And God said to Moses, "I am that I am." He said more, "Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, I am sent me to you. I am the sun that lightens and quickens your steps. I am the affection of the mother who caresses the newborn that came out of her bowels, wishing her all the happiness that life can bring her. I am the friend who listens to your laments and wipes your tears at the time of misery and revolt. I am the bird that flutters in the cool morning, gladdening your eyes after the failure of the day before, and inaugurating a new stretch of road that you must tread in search of the supreme happiness. Finally, I am everything in your path, but today, for you, I am nothing, as you abandon me to play idols, in the illusion of form and in the search for the anesthetizing passions that keep you farther and farther away from the I am, that is, from the essence that feeds and guides you to a haven, without violence, but with discipline, in the cosmic current that attracts everything and everyone to the I am. This pulse, this sidereal rhythm, represents the return of the prodigal son to the Father's house, masterfully outlined by Jesus, the Master Galileo, who felt and lived, in its fullness, this greater reality that inhabits the depths of the creature. This cosmic epic hits on earth, as man does not achieve greater contact with the I am, distracted that he finds himself on the outside. He ceases to use the wonderful inner strength that is part of his immortal collection, and which will be able to lift him to the heights of light the moment he truly decides to undertake the return journey to the I am. Only there, in the most intimate of the intimates, in the deepest of the depths, in the most secret of the secrets, will man find the weapons of light that will lead him to victory in the inner battle against himself. Human beings can and should undertake this struggle, at this moment of their cosmic evolution, in the fight against their imperfections and vices, especially the character vices, which are rooted in their moral context, making it impossible, as invisible bars, to release the force that I am represents in the journey of each creature into the arms of its creator. Don't think that I came to bring peace, but division. I came to bring war. This magical, invisible and grandiose force brought about in the directive left by the unforgettable Jesus of Nazareth, the unconditional friend of man, must, in this moment of definitions that planet Earth is passing through, be one of the arrows signaling to the human being from this orb their greatest duty to yourself and to the I am. The time no longer allows for postponements and postponements of the cosmic need for self-knowledge and moral improvement, as well as the interiorization of the individual, to find the much-desired hidden pearl, which represents the micro and macrocosm within the creature human. This force is at the disposal of all beings so that, freeing itself, like an inner sun, not dimmed, it can illuminate the paths of its bearer and of all those who walk with him on this infinite road that inevitably leads to I am, as the source and destiny of all who inhabit the universes. By the way, Dear brothers, this is a duty that every creature can and must embrace in this prophetic hour, when all humanity is about to find its destiny of light. None of the Father's children were created to suffer, which only occurs in the first steps of their evolution, as a result of the karmic injunctions of their mistakes and successes in the sum of the lived reincarnations. The function of raising him to higher levels of evolution is always reserved to his willpower and his free will, through the knowledge of the liberating truth and its application in daily life, using all the signals left by the Sidereal Masters, who passed through the earth like blazing meteors, leaving a trail of teachings and examples to be followed by everyone who aspires, at this moment, to inhabit the regenerated planet in a short future. Many, throughout universal history, quickly climbed the evolutionary levels, leaving the impression that they evolved in a straight line, like the Master Jesus of Nazareth, the Christ of God. What happened is that they decided, firmly and willingly, to undertake the inner battle that needs to embrace every being who desires supreme happiness, the return to the Father, greater contact with the I Am within itself, in the dynamics of macro and micro that interpenetrate in a single true and fatal reality, which is the love manifested in universal life. These valiant brothers were not created differently from others by the Father. This truth gives all living beings who sincerely desire to reformulate their lives within levels of light and spiritualization the certainty that they can and must arm themselves with a lot of courage, enthusiasm and willpower to make up their minds, finally, to seek the I Am in detriment of the illusions of the flesh and the paralyzing vices that still keep the human creature anchored to the wheel of painful incarnations and the imminence of compulsory planetary exile, which is already an advanced process of achievement. Therefore, all higher spirituality, as well as valuable intergalactic friends, vibrate at this time, in favor of Earth's humanity, the violet light of transmutation, that is, the energy of inner transformation. This light must be urgently sought after by the human being who longs for happiness and integration into the cosmic community that awaits him as the prodigal son in the parable of the Nazarene, returning to the bosom of the family, which accompanies him like a child, since his early ages, in the caves of the nascent planet and the obscurity of reason still brutish and veiled by primal instincts and degrading passions. These companions of man are stellar brothers who vibrate for the success of earthly humanity and leave their magnetic support in the form of waves of love. With extremely sophisticated devices, still unattainable for Earth's being, they regulate and smother the violent magnetism generated by this moment of planetary definitions. This help is intended to provide a condition of minimum equilibrium for all those who want to imitate those who have already become enlightened, and decide to make efforts in the transmutation of the old man into the renewed man who the third millennium will offer this planet, now convulsed. Therefore, all the effort is little. I Am waits for everyone with open arms, ready to celebrate the return of each one who firmly decides to operate the inner change. The tools are available in the doctrines and religions existing on the planet and, in particular, in the Gospel of Light of Christ Jesus. Get to work, my friends. Help will not be lacking for those who fight the internal war against themselves, as the decisive and dazzling moment for the transformation of humanity has arrived, which will only appear through the individual transformation of each being. The plow is ready, the land is prepared, fertilized by the blood and sweat of many. Fight the good fight, analyze your actions, however small they may be, use the golden rule left by Jesus, that is, empathy. Put yourself in the other's shoes and be, finally, happy. A lot of peace. Too much light. Navarana Commander. The Star Traveler decrees that. May humanity live in the light, with the light and for the light. So be it and so it is. Stay in the light. Friends and brothers, I want to thank everyone for visiting the Star Traveler page. The contents are messages from the Masters of the Universe for the awakening of consciousness and the construction of a better world. Please share this page so you will be participating in building a better world. Don't forget to click on the bell to know each post in this page as soon as it is published. Light, lots of light. Namaste.